arid heart of the northeastern Backlands between Mandakaru and Hidden Trails, the legend of Zé Baiano was born, one of the most feared bandits of LAMPIãO'S gang, known for his cold brutality and the cruel mark he left on his enemies. With a red-hot iron stamped with the initials JB, Zé was the terror of soldiers and civilians alike. But behind his dark gaze there was a lonely man, hardened by life, who never expected to be vulnerable to love. His routine was made up of ambushes, marches under the scorching sun, and bloody conflicts, until the day he met Lídia. A beautiful woman, with a magnetic presence and sharp words, Lídia broke down the bandits' emotional walls. With her, Zé stopped being a beast and became a man. For the first time, he felt something stronger than bloodlust, the desire to care, to love. But the Backlands do not forgive weakness. The woman who tamed the beast began to grow bored with the cage. The fire that had lit in Zé began to fade in Lídia's eyes. She began to flirt with Bemtevi, a vain, blonde, and charming bandit who knew how to use charm as a weapon. Zé Baiano's heart, accustomed to steel and lead, began to silently crumble. The betrayal was confirmed when Cuckold, a minor bandit, caught the couple in secret. He tried to use the information to take advantage of Lídia, but was humiliated in front of everyone. Wounded in his pride, Cuckold betrayed the betrayal to the group, exposing Lídia and Bemtevi. Even so, Lídia turned the tables, accusing Cuckold of attempted abuse. The result was her execution by order of LAMPIãO. Zé, in silence, now bore not only the pain of betrayal, but the weight of public humiliation. From that moment on, Zé Baiano lost himself within himself. He spent the night mulling over every word, every gesture, every look exchanged between Lídia and Bemtevi. When the sun came up, he was no longer the same. In a fit of blind hatred, he beat and killed Lídia with his own hands. He buried her under a umbu tree, where he had previously taken her to rest from the hardships of life in the bandits. That crime marked the beginning of a new phase in his life. More solitary, more cruel, more sick. He took out his pain on every woman who reminded him of Lídia, branding them with the same iron he used on his enemies. His companions began to fear him, and LAMPIãO, realizing Zé's imbalance, removed him from the main missions. Now Zé wandered on solitary missions like a wandering spirit, haunted by his memories and the voices from the past that echoed in his mind. It was during one of these wanderings that Zé Baiano made the mistake that would seal his fate. When he passed by the house of the Cuiteiro Antonio de Chiquinho, he tried to abuse the man's daughter without success. Antonio's wife intervened and Zé backed down, but the mark of the threat remained. Antonio, a man of honor, decided that he would not let this go unpunished. He began to forge an alliance with soldiers and rivals from the Cangaceiro, planning revenge with patience and strategy. Zé, increasingly isolated, did not realize that the noose was closing in. His sanity went downhill. He no longer knew who to trust. He saw ghosts in the woods and talked to himself by the campfires. Death approached with silent steps, and he, once the Black Panther of the Sertões, was now just a shadow of his former self. A man dominated by guilt, pain, and a thirst for revenge against a ghost that he himself created. Zé Baiano's end came as the Backlands usually do, fast, relentless, and harsh. Surrounded by soldiers led by Antonio, he was shot after a long exchange of gunfire, falling among the rocks of a dry stream, his eyes wide open and staring at the sky he never understood. His death was a relief to many and the end of an era, marked by blood and terror. But his story became a warning at every campfire told in the Backlands. Love can be the greatest force and the cruelest of curses. LAMPIãO'S Cuckold bandit was not defeated by weapons, but by feelings he never knew how to deal with. And so Zé Baiano became a legend, not for what he did as a warrior, but for what he suffered as a man. Because in the Backlands, the line between love and destruction is as thin as the blade of a dagger.